What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Eau-de-treasure. This is Steven. These are my videos where I collect discontinued, vintage, rare, and interesting fragrances, just like in this episode here. This is quite a beauty. This is one of the most famous, iconic fragrances in history. This is an Yves Saint Laurent beauty, and I spent a little bit more money than I usually do on these fragrances. I spent $100 on this one because this is truly a treasure. I can't wait to show you this one, guys. This is only a 15 ml bottle. Can you imagine spending $100 on a 15 ml bottle of fragrance? Maybe you don't, but when you see this, you'll understand why I did. So let's check this one out. Vintage Yves Saint Laurent Opium Parfum. All right, here it is with a nice little note on it. I'll read that later. It's pretty long. Usually it just says, thanks for your purchase. I hope you enjoy it. Please buy from us again. And here it is, guys. Opium Parfum from Yves Saint Laurent. So as I said, this is one of the most famous, iconic fragrances in history, and you really need to check out Raiders of the Lost Scent. I'll post the direct link in the description to this article. The author made somewhat of an encyclopedia about opium, the whole history and all the information that he could find about opium is in one place on this blog. So go check that out after this video. I'm not going to explain every single detail about this, but basically this came out in 1977. I'll just give you some facts about this. 1977 in France, 1978 in USA, and it was originally an eau de toilette, which was really concentrated, 19%. The Parfum version, this one is 30%. Concentration. The price was really high originally. It was priced higher than some Chanel fragrances, but nevertheless, it sold out right away. It was a huge, huge success, and it's still available today. You can still buy Opium in the stores today, but it's not like the original one. So let's take a look at this thing. Let's look this over. And there's one concern I always have is I never know if it's 100% authentic. In the article on Raiders, it says that opium is one of the most counterfeited and faked fragrances in history. It says, like, for every one real bottle, there are 10 fakes out there in the market. So I don't know if this is real or not. You could tell me in the comments if you think it might not be original, but let's take a look at this. I'll give you a close look. Sorry about the glare. First, you'll notice that it says Paris on the front. Yves Saint Laurent fragrances before 1986 said Paris, if I'm not mistaken. After that, the company name was changed to Parfums Corp. 15 ml, 71%. So when you see this, 71%, you know that this is sometime in the 80s. If this had come out in the 70s, it would just be like 70 with that little degrees circle. It's completely sealed. The seal hasn't been broken yet. Let's look at the bottom here. Yves Saint Laurent Paris, made in France. We have an EMB number, 60350. It's nice and clear. And there's the batch code, 5050. So I looked that up already. The first number tells you the year. So we know it came out in 77, so it can't be a 75. And it's not a 95 because it says Paris on the front. It doesn't say Parfums Corp. So I'm 99.999% sure that this is a 1985. I'd say that this is a fragrance grail. What say you? Let's look at the back side here. That's just the product number. And there's a price tag on it. Isn't this interesting? Looks like this was bought in Germany with this kind of price tag. It looks like a German name there. DM probably means Deutschmarks. 148. Let's look that up. How much is that? So I just looked this up online. How much is 148 Deutschmarks, if that's correct, converted to US dollars? And it comes out to $81.54. So I don't know when this was purchased, but this wasn't cheap. This was, let's just say, $70, $75, or $80 at the time. The bottle inside this box is very interesting. It is shaped like a traditional Japanese inro. And I'll show some pictures here. What that is go way back, 600 years ago, 500 years ago, Japanese were wearing kimono. There were no pockets in the kimono back in those days. So they would have these little lacquered wooden boxes that would just carry their stuff around with a tassel that would tie onto their belt. After around 16, 17, 1800, they would just make them as a decorative piece, and they were really, really beautiful. And that's what this box kind of looks like, and that's what the bottle inside looks like. It actually has a tassel, and that's interesting to me because I live in Japan, and it's cool to discover this here in Japan. So what do you think? Do you think this is legit? I think so. It looks legit to me. What's crazy is that here in Japan, on some websites, stuff like this, it's a daily occurrence. Stuff like this just pops up. Now, I told you what I spent on this, and I went to eBay and looked it up before I bought this to see what these are selling for in the States. There are 3 versions of this. There's the 30 ml, the 15 ml, and a 7.5 ml. And the 15 ml is selling anywhere from $250 to $300. So basically, I bought this for 30% of the value of what these are selling for in USA. The 30 mLs, I saw one sell for from $400, $450 up to $500. Now, if you've been watching the channel, you know there's no possible way that I'm going to tear this thing open just to try it out. There's no way I'm going to lose the value for that, because that you probably lose about $100 or $150 just by opening this thing up. I'm finding some of these treasures that are sealed, and I'm not opening them up because I'm amassing a beautiful collection of vintage discontinued fragrances. Some of these fragrances I buy to smell. If this were opened, if I bought an opened one, which I might in the future, then yes, I'll give it a try and smell it and tell you what I think about it. If you want to know more about what this smells like or the notes in it, then you can take a look online. Check out Fragrantica and read the comments, look at the notes. You can learn more about this fragrance that way. But for me, I'm taking advantage of this unique time in my life where I live in Japan and I can find these amazing, amazing fragrances that nobody really knows what they're worth or appreciates them. And I'm snatching them up, and someday in the future, I'm going to unload my collection and kind of just relax and just be a husband and a dad chilling at home with an amazing online store. Several years ago, when I was living in Japan, when I just moved here, I started to see some of these treasures being sold online, and I looked on eBay to see what they're selling for in USA, for example, and I just saw that they're selling for so much more than they're going for here. So I saw somewhat of an opportunity for the future and just noticed that these things it's like an investment, it's like a commodity. People are paying insane prices, like $500 for fragrances. And that's mainly for the nostalgia of it. You know, people are spending hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars on baseball cards or comic books. I mean, once you look at a baseball card, once you read a comic book, it's done. You know, it's over with. And that's how it was in the past when people just threw them in the garbage. It's something that connects you to your past, right? It gives you that feeling of nostalgia. And fragrances work the same way. People want to feel like they're young again and remember their youth in its most original form, and that's what things like this signify. This is a lady's fragrance. There is a men's version of Opium. The men's version, the Eau de Toilette, that came out around the same time, and that's still available today. They still make it today. Of course, it's a little bit different due to reformulations. I have another Opium video on the channel. Look at episode 107 if you want to see a very weird version of Opium. It's a video where I didn't know what the hell it was. It said Yves Saint Laurent Opium, but it was a bottle that I could not find online anywhere else. I found it in a Japanese thrift store. The owner didn't really know much about it, and he didn't speak any English. I couldn't speak Japanese and ask him questions about it, but it was like $20, something like that. It was almost full. I bought it. The bottle looks like it's high quality. The juice inside, I sprayed it. Smells nice, and it performs well. It smells like something very quality. It has the cheesiest, cheapest cap you'll see on an Yves Saint Laurent fragrance. So it's just a bizarre specimen. And if you want to see what I'm talking about, check out episode 107. So that's it for this video. What did you think, guys? Give me a thumbs up if you thought this is a beautiful, beautiful treasure that I found and uncovered here in Japan. And leave me a comment down below. What do you think of Opium? Any of the iterations of Yves Saint Laurent Opium over the years? Did you wear it? I only know the scent from going to the store and trying the testers. So it's just the modern men's version that I've smelled. Even though it's a modern version that I smelled at the store, it's just a beautiful, masculine, vintage smelling, spicy fragrance. And if it were a little bit cheaper, I'd probably buy it. But there are plenty of these for sale here in Japan. I just haven't focused my attention on them until I saw this one. If I see a 30 ml, I'll jump on it. If it's anything less than, let's just say $150, because we know what it's worth. And if you think this video is interesting, if you like this project of mine of making these videos as I open up these boxes that come in the mail of these amazing treasures, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. I just crossed over 1,000 subscribers at this point. Maybe I have 1,100 or 1,200 by the time you see this video, but it keeps growing, and I really appreciate all the support out there. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a great day out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.